Hi everyone. Today we're ranking different ways for families to handle money amid the current crisis. We're looking at these budget through the lens of a 20,000 to 100,000 monthly income to see which ones actually work, which are best for any income level, and which are most effective for building an emergency fund. Before we start, here is what the tiers mean. S tier, the best ways to save the most money while staying in total control. A tier, reliable plans that help you stay steady for the long term. B tier, great for building better habits and fixing how you feel about spending. C tier, best for people who are already very careful with their money. And D tier, this don't really work if your budget is tight and if you're trying to grow your wealth. So the first one, the 50-30-20 rule. You split your take home pay into three parts: 50% for needs or bills, 30% for wants or for your fun, and 20% for savings. For example, you earn 40,000, you set a limit of 20,000 for rent and bills, and then you allot 12,000 for hobbies or dining out and spend 8,000 straight to your savings. The result, this goes straight to A tier. It's easy to follow and works well for most families. However, this only works if 50% of your income can actually sustain your life. If your take home is only 18,000, you'll find it hard to live comfortably on 50%. You can, of course, adjust the percentages based on your specific situation. Second method would be the no budget budget. So, how it works, this is an approach where you automate savings and essential bills first, then spend the remaining disposable income freely without tracking categories. For this one, I would say this would be a D tier. If you already have an emergency fund and an automated system, it might work. But for most people who are easily swayed by coworkers to eat out or who hop on social media trends easily, it would be a recipe for disaster. Third one would be the zero based budgeting. How it works, every single peso is given a job until your income minus your spending equals exactly zero. It's a strategic method where every expense must be justified from scratch for each new period. For example, you earn 25,000, you set aside 8,000 for rent, 7,000 for food, 3,000 for travel, and 5,000 for emergencies. You have 2,000 left, so you assign it to a specific debt or bill. For this one, I would say this is an easy S tier. Every peso is used purposefully and nothing is wasted. You do not need to be mindful when tracking, and it helps you to assign your money in advance so you aren't scrambling once your paycheck arrives. This is also good for debt elimination, so easy S tier for zero based budgeting. Fourth one would be anti budgeting. How it works, this is a simplified system that prioritizes saving and investing a fixed percentage first, followed by bills, then spending the rest guilt free. This belongs in C tier. It keeps you out of debt, but it doesn't help you grow your money as fast as possible. This isn't meant to fix bad spending habits, it just makes you aware of them. By focusing only on automation, it's easy to lose track of your daily discretionary spending and overspending. And I also think this is good for families that do not have debt and just wants money to save, invest, and to spend freely. I personally use this budget before, doing all of this research. So even if this is C tier, and if you have discipline, I believe with all of the tricks here, you can actually still grow your money. It just depends on your mindset. So the fifth one would be the envelope system. How it works, you put cash into physical or digital envelopes for different categories. Once an envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. For example, you earn 20,000 and put 5,000 in a grocery envelope. By week 3, you want a fancy snack, but you only have 200 left, so you have to stop. The result, this goes to B tier. It provides clear limits that are great for building discipline, I wouldn't advise keeping large amounts of physical cash though. It's better to use a high yield savings account for your so-called digital envelopes so your money grows. Just be careful not to lose track of which digital e-wallets you're using. Sixth one would be pay yourself first or reverse budgeting. You treat savings like a mandatory bill. The moment you get paid, you move a portion to a separate account before paying for anything else. For example, you earn 60,000 instead of saving whatever is left, you immediately move 12,000 to savings and live on that remaining 48,000. For this one, I would say this is an easy S tier. This ensures you save for the future before you can spend it today. It's the foundation of many great financial habits, and it's perfect for those who are just starting to build their emergency fund. Seventh one would be the values based budgeting. How it works, you spend heavily on things you truly care about and cut spending ruthlessly on things you don't. For example, you love traveling, so you spend 15,000 a month on flights but live in a very cheap apartment and rarely buy new clothes. The result for this one would be C tier. While it makes you happy, it's risky if you ignore other important expenses. For some, this is an S tier because of the lifestyle they could live. But let's say for people who spend their money on Pokemon cards or hobbies, uh, would you think that would matter in 40 years? For others, yes, that would. For others, I don't think so. They would regret it. This method requires deep self reflection. And if your values change every month, this won't work for you. Eighth one would be incremental budgeting. How it works, you look at what you spent last month and try to make very small adjustments. For example, you spent 10,000 on shopping last month. So this month you aim for 9,500. The result, I think this would be a D tier. It doesn't question if the original spending was a bad idea. It just tries to nudge the needle, so to speak. This often leads to a budget creep, and it isn't effective for those needing a major lifestyle change. Ninth one would be kakebo. This would be a Japanese money diary method where you manually record every expense and reflect on your spending habits. For example, every night you write down your 150 peso commute and 300 peso lunch. At the end of the month, you realize you spent 9,000 just on convenience. For the result, this would be B tier. Writing everything down is a lot of work, so just keep that in mind. But it's a powerful way to build mindfulness. If you are disciplined, it's amazing. But if you're spontaneous or forgetful, it's hard to maintain. And the 10th budgeting trick and last budgeting trick on our list would be 60% solution. So, how it works, you keep all regular living costs within 60% of your take home pay. The other 40% is split into four parts. So, let's say retirement, long term savings, or short term goals, and for fun money. For example, you earn 80,000. You cap lifestyle costs at 48,000 and the remaining 32% is split into 8,000 piles for different goals. For the result, this would be an easy A tier. It's a great way to manage a larger salary without getting stressed. However, it only works if you have a high enough income to cover your basic necessities within that 60% limit. So that would be it. That's the end of our list. Remember, your tier list might look different based on your debt, career status, and savings. But this would be like my list, my personal list. And I would say there's no single best method. I often use a mix of these methods in my own household. What's important is that you're building the discipline to save for your needs and for your future. So, which one are you using? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next one.